Okay, well, thank you for inviting me here tonight. And I've been asked just to share, really bring it to life, I think, what you've been talking about today. What I will say, customer service, people experiences, etc. It's not rocket science. It's what we do every day. We all do it. I'm not going to try and preach to you because let's face it, you guys know exactly what customer service is, and you also know what good customer service is. Anyone had a good customer service experience since they arrived here? Go on, shout it out.
Friendly welcome, nice, cheery people.
Exceptional. Give me an exceptional one, because you kind of expect that, don't you? But you're right. You're absolutely right. You kind of expect that. Anything stick in your mind and go, do you know what? That is amazing.
Wasn't it not amazing that I pressed the disabled button by accident?
Have another one.
But within 2 minutes they phoned me up and said, is everything all right? And I said, yeah, I'm sorry I made a mistake. So it's fine, but I thought, well, it was good to know that the systems are in place, it's working, and they were concerned for me.
Brilliant. No, good. Any other ones? Any other ones? No? Well, for me, I must say this is a first. I've come to a venue here. I don't do this hugely, I do it from time to time. And I've come to a venue and I plugged in my laptop, switched it on, the sound was here, it's all ready to go, and it worked first time, and I haven't had to call anyone to help me with my laptop and why doesn't it work, sort of thing. So, you know, little things like that, which to me, I'll come back and use this place already, and I haven't even spent more than half an hour here. So, okay, I'm going to try and bring it to life to you. First of all, who the hell am I, and what do I know? This is going to really probably do your head in. I'm an accountant, so do you want to crack open your whiskies, go for your life, you know? See, I got in there before you. I'm an accountant by trade, and I had 8 years in London in telecoms, working for Cable and Wireless. Loved it down there actually, and worked in finance initially, trained with them, and then moved on to commercial roles doing contract negotiation, that kind of thing. Then I moved back up to Scotland. My wife and I came back and decided to have a family, and decided we wanted to come back home. And I joined what is the Edrington Group. The Edrington Group is the company that actually owns the Famous Grouse, Macallan, Highland Park. So I worked with them in the brand innovation team. Again, a kind of financial role, but sort of far more fun than just a pure financial role. And again, moved into commercial roles with them in Perth. And in 2005, I made the bold move to move over to Crieff. And the reason behind that was I desperately wanted to get close to the customer. It was great being part of the Edrington Group, and I still am part of the Edrington Group, very much so. But I felt kind of removed. I could have been working in a sausage factory for all I cared. It wasn't, you know, whiskey. I was too far removed from the actual whiskey and the customer. So I took the bold move and moved over to Crieff and headed up the Famous Grouse Experience. Now, big health warning here. Read all that and you kind of go, what the hell does he know? What I will share with you is I have a very unhealthy passion for customer service. And I take it personal as well. I really, really want to make sure that my customers who visit my site have a fantastic experience. And it's not okay just to have an okay experience. I'm not interested in satisfactory. I don't actually measure satisfactory. I only look at very good and exceptional. So I really am not interested. When I talk stats with my team, satisfactory, just not even interested, okay? So one thing, hopefully, I'm going to give you passes at the end, and hopefully you'll come up and see us at the Famous Grouse Experience. Hopefully you'll see that through me, but you'll see it coming through the team as well, okay? I recognise not all of you have been to the Famous Grouse Experience, probably don't even know where it is. It's about half an hour, if you're in a hurry, it's about 25 minutes from here. But it's literally just sort of go up to Perth and hang a left, or just head straight diagonally through Muthil and Braco. And it's Glenturret Distillery, it's the site of Glenturret Distillery. So up until about 2001, we used to welcome 237,000 visitors at the time. Pile them high, sell them cheap, lots of coaches, didn't charge. Bit of a sort of, well, hey, let's just get the people in here, and made our money out of the shop and the restaurant. That's great, and it works for some places. And at the time it was fine for Glenturret. But the Famous Grouse kind of recognised at that point that we didn't have a home. We didn't have a natural place that the visitor could come and find out and empathise with the brand and meet the bird and see the adverts and do all that kind of stuff. And so you go to Ireland, what do you go and see? You go and see the Guinness Storehouse. It's just a must do, okay? Similarly, we want the same thing. When you come to Scotland, Famous Grouse, synonymous with Scotland, you should come and see the Famous Grouse Experience. So, decision made in 2002 to reinvest heavily in the site, £2.5 million, and to create an experience, but tie in the Glenturret Distillery, so it's still part of it. But a significant change in the customer experience made a conscious decision to go from 200,000 odds people to 100,000 visitors. You can't give 237,000 people in a premium experience, an excellent customer experience. If you've been to our site, you'll realise it's quite small. You can't do that. So we made a conscious decision to change it. We started charging. We started reducing the size of our groups. So instead of having 50 people on a tour where the back third couldn't hear a thing that was being said or being done, we actually made them about 20. So it's much smaller groups, much more intimate. much more chance for people to actually talk and ask questions and really get to know their guide and get to know the people who are taking the tours. Okay. 2005, like any big company, you invest heavily in it, and it's all, well, hey, brilliant, big sort of party. We had adverts and everything going on the telly. They kind of forgot about it at that point, and the customer experience definitely dipped. And that's when I came in, which was just my luck. So I came in, and 6 days after I joined, Visit Scotland announced that they were on site, and they were here to do their annual assessment, or twice annual assessment, whatever it was, every 2 years. And they wanted to talk to the general manager. So I was like, well, he's somewhere over there. And so they called me up, and they called me into the office and had a chat, and said, look, this is where we're at. How do you feel about this? And I said, well, this is great, because you've just given me a checklist here of 80 things I can go and do to improve the customer experience. I should say it wasn't hugely flattering. We'd really taken our eye off the ball. The customer experience had been forgotten about. Not forgotten, but staff morale was down, heads were down, people weren't taking responsibility for what they did. The place was a bit shabby, not enough money invested in it. But most of all, for me, the thing that stuck in my mind was that Visit Scotland felt that we didn't care about our customer anymore. So that was kind of a low ebb for us as a business. But it was day 6 for me, so that was quite good. And that actually gave me a great chance to redefine the visitor experience, what we actually do. And it was back to basics. It really was about going back and saying, right, what is it we want to do? What are we here to do? What are we trying to do here? We've got this big brand behind us, Famous Grouse brand. But forget all that. We're a customer experience, and we're actually the mouthpiece for the Famous Grouse brand. So people come to us and they expect the same. I don't know if anyone drinks whiskey in the room, I don't know if anyone drinks Famous Grouse, but it's a premium brand with premium expressions, premium cues. Everything about it is top of the range for the blend category. It's priced about 50p above bells. We always position ourselves in that way. If you then come to that place and you don't experience that kind of, you don't get that feel, you're kind of letting down the team a little bit there. So it was about going back and looking at our visitor experience and making sure we deliver that. It's about re-establishing customer relationships. We've forgotten to talk to our customers. I'm not talking about customers necessarily who come, the visitors. I'm talking about people who bring visitors to us, so the tour parties and all the rest of it. We asked them why, and they said, well, you haven't talked to us the last 3 years, and you've kind of, the product's out of date. We've kind of moved on. We want such and such. So we started that process again, heavily worked on that. I employed a sales manager who went actually out and really just started that whole process of talking to them again. It's amazing how quickly people want to come back. If they like a brand, and they like the people in the place, it's amazing how quickly when you tweak a few things, they will actually come back. And most importantly, we retrained all of our staff. We just lifted their heads and really got back to basics, talking to them about the customer experience. And that's what I'm going to sort of talk about today. A key way for the brand to meet our consumers, as I said, we are the mouthpiece of the brand. Hopefully, though, we're going to convert people. Not everyone who comes to the site understands what we do. They don't know about whiskey. They maybe don't drink whiskey. They've been dragged there by their husband. They've been dragged there by whomever. They don't actually want to be there, but our job is to make sure they have a great time. If they decide they like whiskey, even better. If they decide to buy a bottle for someone, better still. But ultimately, I'm there to provide a good time for them. And as I said, we are a tourist attraction. There's a little bit of niggle there. Not niggle, that's the wrong word. There's a little bit of challenge for me, because I've got this big parent brand, who's Famous Grouse, owned by the Edgerton Group. There's a couple of other big brands in there. But I'm there as a tourist attraction, and without speaking out of turn, most of my board and most of the people high up in our business have no idea what tourist attractions are about. It's quite a different part of the business what they do. And I don't know, Forestry Commission have the similar kind of challenges within your ranks as well. But it's important that we, from my perspective, I realised early on I had to engage with the guy, my boss is Derek Brown, who actually has been in my role before, so he understands it. But it's people above him. So I've kind of now got a quarterly meeting with his manager and his manager's manager, so people on the board. It's actually quite good. He gets me straight in to actually let them know some of the challenges. And just recently, I just wrote my monthly report. Today, I say report, it's my numbers, just to let them know what's happening. And I said to them, guys, you know what? The first hit from the corporate slowdown has hit us today, because functions are way, way down. And the light bulb goes on. I got an email back from the boss's boss today saying, all right, talk me through going forward. They understand why. They understand why that's going to affect our business. But they hadn't thought about how RBS and all the rest of it might impact us, because they're removed from it. They're a whiskey company. So it's little things like that. That communication process is so, so important.